Ever pondered what attachment really means in terms of psychology? It's a fascinating concept, and one that is central to our human experience. Attachment theory, which was developed by British psychiatrist John Bowlby, explains that attachment is our way of seeking closeness with those we perceive as stronger or more knowledgeable. This drive is an innate human need, and it begins to take shape during our early childhood years. Our first bonds are typically formed with our parents or caregivers, and these relationships serve as a foundation for future interactions. But why is attachment so crucial? Well, it provides us with a sense of security and protection, offering vital emotional support, particularly in times of stress. It's a fundamental aspect of our development, shaping how we relate to others and navigate the world around us. Now that we understand what attachment is, let's dive into the different types of attachment. First on our list is secure attachment. This type of attachment is characterized by a healthy balance of trust and exploration. Individuals with secure attachment usually had caregivers who validated their feelings and showed genuine interest in their development without crossing into overprotection. So what does this look like in action? Well, these individuals navigate emotional connections with ease, are comfortable with their independence, and have a strong sense of self-esteem. They can form meaningful and lasting relationships rooted in trust. For example, when faced with a stressful situation, they are likely to seek out support from their loved ones, but they are also comfortable handling things on their own. Securely attached individuals view themselves and the world around them in a positive light, leading to healthier, happier relationships. They're confident, resilient, and emotionally intelligent. Moving on from secure attachment, we come to the second type, avoidant attachment. Now, let's delve into avoidant attachment. Imagine growing up in an environment where your emotional needs are often overlooked or dismissed. This can result in what psychologists call avoidant attachment. It's like being on a solo journey where emotional connections with others seem like a distant foreign concept. This form of attachment typically evolves out of a childhood where emotional needs were consistently not met. Parents or caregivers might have ignored a child's feelings, creating a sense of emotional isolation. As a result, these individuals often have difficulty distinguishing their own emotions, let alone understanding those of others. As adults, these individuals may become self-reliant to a fault, a trait born out of necessity. They learn to be self-sufficient, assuming they can't rely on others for emotional support. This can make expressing their own feelings and needs challenging, as well as understanding and empathizing with the emotions of others. In relationships, those with avoidant attachment often struggle to establish intimacy and trust. They may shy away from deeper connections where emotional conversations are important. For them, commitment can be a source of fear, a hurdle to be avoided rather than embraced. So, in essence, avoidant attachment is like building a fortress around oneself, a fortress designed to keep emotions out, but in doing so, it also keeps meaningful connections at bay. As we transition from avoidant attachment, we enter the realm of anxious-ambivalent attachment. Next up is anxious-ambivalent attachment. This type of attachment is a unique blend of anxiety and uncertainty. It often originates from inconsistent caregiving, where a child's needs are sometimes met and sometimes neglected. This inconsistency plants seeds of insecurity and doubt, leading to an intense fear of abandonment. Those with anxious-ambivalent attachment may exhibit an excessive dependence on others. Imagine a friend who's always seeking reassurance, or a partner who needs constant validation. They might have a hard time being alone and could struggle with feelings of unworthiness. They may also act out in ways to get attention or to confirm that their loved ones are still there for them. In relationships, these individuals might be described as clingy or overbearing. They may be constantly on high alert for any signs of rejection or abandonment. This fear can be so overwhelming that it might lead them to act out in ways that ironically push their loved ones away. Their self-esteem is often tied to their relationships. When things are going well, they feel good about themselves. But when things are rocky, their self-esteem plummets. They often struggle to establish boundaries as they prioritize the happiness of others over their own well-being. This attachment style can be challenging, both for the individuals who are experiencing it and for their loved ones. But with understanding and therapy, it's possible to navigate these challenges and form healthier relationships. Finally, we arrive at the last type of attachment, which is disorganized attachment. Lastly, let's explore disorganized attachment. This style is a complex mix of both avoidant and anxious attachment. It often originates from a confusing or chaotic childhood, where the primary caregivers elicit a mix of emotions, such as fear and comfort. These conflicting feelings can lead to a sense of disorientation and uncertainty in forming relationships. Imagine a child who craves a hug from a parent but also fears it. This internal conflict often carries into adulthood, creating a whirlwind of emotions that can be hard to understand or articulate. Adults with disorganized attachment may struggle to trust others, yet they also fear abandonment. They might feel both a strong desire for intimacy and an overwhelming urge to withdraw. This contradictory behavior can make it challenging for them to maintain stable relationships. They may also find it difficult to process and express their emotions, leading to an internal chaos that is reflected in their relationships. As we conclude our journey through the types of attachment, let's quickly recap. We've journeyed through the realm of attachment, exploring its 4 types. Secure attachment, the confident explorer, born of parents who validated emotions and fostered development without smothering. This attachment type leads to emotionally healthy individuals, capable of building lasting, trust-filled relationships. Avoidant attachment, the independent loner, often arising from childhood emotional neglect. This results in adults who struggle with intimacy and expressing emotions, preferring self-sufficiency over reliance on others. Anxious-Ambivalent attachment, the constant seeker of validation, usually stems from an overprotective single caregiver. This leads to adults who fear abandonment, constantly seeking validation and struggling with self-confidence. Lastly, disorganized attachment, a confusing mix of avoidant and anxious types, often born from traumatic childhood experiences. This type leads to distrust and difficulty forming consistent emotional bonds. Remember, understanding our attachment style can pave the way for healthier and more fulfilling relationships. Until next time, keep exploring the fascinating world of psychology.